Hello and welcome back to Carsick.my for another review video. This time round, we have something a little more exciting to drive. The Suzuki Swift Sport. The Suzuki brand left Malaysia back in 2016 and it was brought back by Naza in the early 2021. The first car that was launched under the new management is the Suzuki Swift Sport. Back in 2017, Suzuki introduced the Swift Sport internationally. The new car comes with a more powerful turbocharged engine and a brand new look. Weighing in under 1000 kg, this is going to be an interesting car to drive. Let's take a closer look. The new generation Swift Sport comes with a more modern and refined look, which is tidier around the edges compared to the previous generation car. Generally, the classic shape of the Swift Sport has been retained, especially the floating roof design. The Swift Sport also gets LED headlights and taillights in order to elevate the car. Being a sporty model of the Suzuki Swift family, the Swift Sport that I have here blends into the crowd easily. This is because the Swift Sport that was loaned to me was a white color car. If you want your car to stand out even more, I'd suggest you to choose the iconic yellow color when you purchase your car. Lastly, the Swift Sport comes with a sportier looking rear bumper that features a Fox diffuser and dual exhaust tip to hint that this is a performance-based vehicle. Since the Suzuki Swift Sport was launched back in 2017, the interior design does feel a little dated compared to some of the newer rivals. On the plus side, Suzuki did put in the effort to make the interior of the car feel as driver-focused as possible. The overall fit and finish is good, but the plastic that was used around the cabin are the hard plastics, which is similar to some of the plastic used on more budget-friendly cars. Sitting in the driver's seat, I find that the sitting position is spot on, thanks to the semi-bucket seats that were fitted with the Swift Sport. While I don't find any trouble fitting in the seats, I still feel that the lower portion of the seats are a little too tight for me, which takes some time to get used to. I like the sitting position in the Suzuki Swift Sport to the point where I changed my sitting position in my own car to mimic it. In order to provide the driver with sufficient information, Suzuki has equipped the Swift Sport with an analog instrument cluster that has a colored LCD screen at the center. The screen allows the driver to see the engine performance, turbo boost, fuel consumption figure, and G meter according to the driver preference. At the center, there is a 7-inch touchscreen head unit that is hooked up to a 6-speaker setup. The sound system quality is moderate at best, but the head unit does come with Apple CarPlay. Sadly, Android Auto has been left out again. For the rear seats, it's not the most comfortable place to be over long distance. Rear passengers do get decent legroom and headroom, but the rear seat bench didn't have any kind of support to keep the rear passengers comfortable. As for boot space, you do get 265 litre of loading capacity, while the rear seats can be folded down to further expand the size of the boot. Up to this point, if you are looking for a practical and comfortable car, you'll be somewhat disappointed thus far. But if driving is your thing, let's move on to see how this car drives. Powering the Swift Sport is a 1.4-litre turbocharged 4-cylinder engine, and it's mated to a 6-speed automatic transmission. Here's the specification. Looking at the performance figure, the Swift Sport's engine is not any record-breaking engine. Due to the lack of weight, the whole package made the Swift Sport a decent performer. At lower speeds, I noticed that the engine felt somehow sluggish and reluctant to move, especially in start-stop traffic. Once the pace picked up, the engine felt lively and very eager to get a move on. I think this is due to the peak torque only kicks in around 2500 RPM, which causes the lack of any grunt below that engine speed. During my time with the car, I'm surprised to find that the Swift Sport's engine is very frugal. It returned an impressive 7.2 litre per 100 km of average fuel consumption reading. In Malaysia, we only get the 6-speed automatic transmission version of the Swift Sport here. Of course, some buyers might want to get their hands on the manual version, but if Suzuki Malaysia were to make sure that they can appeal to a wider audience, automatic transmission is the only way to go. This transmission is tuned to match the Swift Sport engine in terms of performance. The gear shifts are smooth, and the transmission always ensures that it is in the right gear when necessary. On the other hand, I sometimes notice that the lockup clutch in the torque converter might suddenly engage when I did not fully depress the brake pedal, especially in very slow moving traffic. This creates a violent jerk that makes me think that someone has knocked into the back of the vehicle. If I were to own the Swift Sport, the first thing that I would upgrade is the exhaust system. The factory exhaust system is rather muted, and it sort of takes away some of the driving pleasure of the Swift Sport. When it comes to ride and handling, the Swift Sport is a car that speaks confidence in this department. The Swift Sport is fitted with sports-tuned suspension, which makes the car stiffer than regular Swifts. With the stiffer suspension, it allows the Swift Sport to greatly minimize the body roll when cornering, which encourages the driver to take corners at much higher speeds. Even though the suspension is stiff, it is not bumpy when going over uneven roads. While the Swift Sport is considered lightweight by modern-day vehicle standards, the steering wheel still weighs up nicely to provide feedback for the driver when taking corners. As for the brakes, the new Swift Sport is equipped with all-round disc brakes just like the previous generation model. The braking performance is strong and it's also easy to modulate, which is something that was expected from a performance-oriented vehicle. Safety-wise, the Swift Sport is equipped with the basic passive safety systems. These systems include Back to the main question, is the Suzuki Swift Sport worth the 139,900 ringgit asking price? It really depends on the perspective that you are coming from. If practicality and creature comfort is at the top of your priority, you are better off looking at other alternatives. On the other hand, if you are a car enthusiast, I would say that this is a good starting point for those who are looking for a performance-based vehicle. Looking at this price point, there is no other brand new car that is as driver-focused as the Swift Sport. Personally, I would keep the Swift Sport for occasional weekend drives. This is to prevent losing the sense of occasion when driving the car. Thanks for your time. Please help leave a like and share out this video if you find this video interesting. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel or head on over to carsick.my for more automotive related news and reviews. See you next time.